Okay, so Comboricua here. Welcome to my video. Finally decided to start my project. What is my project? It's an '06 Boxster that I bought in parts. Right there is a car. But this car off of a guy who actually was fed up with it because he had many bills and they were expensive. So I decided to buy it off of him in parts at the shop to actually fix it myself. So what actually happened to this car is the transmission, automatic Tiptronic, lost its seal and lost the fluid, and as a result he lost the transmission. When I bought the car, for some reason they had removed the engine and the transmission. When I asked for all the parts, they gave them to me, but they gave me the transmission in a box. So I have no idea if that transmission is good or if it's just a seal that went out. The seal is in there somewhere. When the seal came off, there is a bushing in the actual drive shaft, and that bushing got stuck to the torque converter. I'll show that to you later. And what happened was they could not remove it, so they yanked the whole thing out with the torque converter and the bushing in it. So what I did is I went over to eBay and I bought a used transmission. Okay, quality Porsche parts out of Albuquerque. I went over there and picked it up myself, and the guys looked like they're running a solid operation. It looked clean. They had a few Porsches and parts, and they treated me really well. So I have no reason to believe that the transmission is bad. I think the transmission should be good, but I haven't tried it yet. And before I put it back in, what I'm going to do is replace the seal. So the seal is the main seal in the front of the transmission. It's right behind the torque converter. I already bought it from Pelican Parts. After I do the seal in the transmission, I am going to do the rear main seal in the engine, another project. Made them, stick them under the car. Hopefully everything is going to work out. I've never bought a car in pieces like this before. I've replaced engines, but nothing like this. So it's going to be a learning experience for many of us. Hopefully you'll enjoy the video. So today's video is about replacing the seal for the transmission drive shaft. Seal is in this bag of parts. I have filters, I bought seals, but quite a few things. Some of the boots for the drive shafts, and again, the whole car has to be put together. So this is going to be quite an experience. Again, part number one of bringing the Boxster back to life is replacing the seal, the drive shaft seal. It's actually also called the transmission pump seal, and an actual Tiptronic for a 2006 Porsche Boxster. So you guys, just I'm back. I'm trying to measure the distance, and it's actually about 15/16 if you look at it. The distance of the actual flywheel as it sits in the actual drive shaft itself. So just wanted to have that point of reference, so when I remove the flywheel I know where it goes. So I'm going to remove the flywheel. It's pretty heavy. See if I can do it with one hand. So only one guy. There. Just came off. And the seal is that bad boy in there. This is a seal. This is the actual bad actor that I have to pull. And actually, as you see, it fits in this race. Very smooth, very well. looks like it's in very good shape. So I'm going to assume again this transmission is good. I have no reason to believe otherwise. I'm looking in there and I don't see a whole lot of anything, which tells me put fluid inside before you actually put it back in. So this is the pump housing. It looks like the transmission is clean, looks like it's in good shape, but I am not going to trust that old seal. I'm going to go ahead and replace this. I'm going to pull it, and I'll show you guys how to pull it according to what I've seen in videos. By the way, I'm not a mechanic, but I've done work on cars for many years, and I know what I don't know, and I look up information and I try to stay up to date with the latest. And check out YouTube, guys. So check me out on YouTube. I replaced actually a water pump for a CL55 AMG, my other car, which is outside right now. So anyways, I'm going in to replace the actual pump seal in a 2006 Boxster. I'm going to put fluid in the actual torque converter, about half, so when I tip it I don't lose it, okay, and actually slip it in there, and this baby will be good to go into that engine over there after I clean it up. So first step first, go ahead and replace the seal. Okay, so I'm getting ready to remove the seal, and like I said, the seal is right in here, this seal right here, and if you can see, it's a little wet on the bottom, so it'll be a good thing to remove and replace. Here's my replacement seal. You can see it says oil seal. The part actually was got in torque converter seal right here. I don't know if you can read that, but it came from Pelican Parts. And here's the seal. I have a seal puller that I've never used before. I'm going to be using this part, this tool. I'm going to hook it, hopefully either with a tiny one or even the smaller tip here, and just pull on it. I'm going to pry on it, basically hook it and then pull out. Hopefully it'll come out smoothly. To go back in, this is what I bought. This is actually a 2-inch PVC coupler connector. Basically what I'm going to do with this coupler is I'm going to fit it right over the seal, as you can see, and I'm going to tap this, put a piece of wood across, tap the piece of wood. How does it fit in the seal itself? Look at that. Pretty much exact. Very little play around it. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that this deal will work and life is going to be good. Okay? Be back in a sec. Alright, so that's how you do it. Stick this thing in there, leverage it out, pop it out. Popped out easy, no drama. Okay? Again, I use a longer tooth part. I rounded up the tip a little bit, just to prevent any marring, or if I by any reason scratched the inside part or touched it, I hoped to be able to not scratch it. So as far as I know, seal is out. Looks like it has been there for a while. Trash. Clean up the inner race and install the new seal with the actual pipe piece that I told you. Alright, so getting ready to install it. Install the seal. The manual, one of the manuals, calls for slight lubrication of the outside of the seal to help it slide into place. That's exactly what I just did. A little light coat of lubricant on the outside. Go ahead and try to see if it'll stay in place, and if it does, then use the sleeve to drive it this way. Of course, This is the critical part procedure. So I want to make sure that I drive it in as evenly as possible. Working its way in. Instead of a rubber mallet, obviously I can use a hammer, but I don't want to give too much force. In one shot. Keep checking the lip, making sure that it's going in just about evenly. For some reason, one side is going in a lot sooner than the other. You can also use a piece of wood. That I picked up, starting to balance out. Slowly getting there. Feel good about this seal replacement. It feels pretty tight. I did check it. At the torque converter neck, and there was quite a bit of resistance, so feeling pretty good about it. I'm gonna get my other hammer. I think it's taking me a little longer than I thought it would. Hammer time. There we go. Getting there. Originally, I thought about putting a piece of wood in front of it. Where is it? Initially, I thought about doing this, which works fine. It's just a little trick here. If you the center, rotate it a bit. To help you drive it in evenly. That's just about flush except the lower part. This has a little attention. Something else that people do. We'll actually put it on like this. To drive so it seems to be almost there. To be flush with the edge. just about flush, just a tiny little bit microscopic section on the I don't do this a lot. I'm not a mechanic, like I said, but I've learned tricks here and there, and I'm willing to take chances. So this feels really good. Feels flush all the way around, which is pretty much the way that the other seal was. So at this point, a few more taps. And sure that everything is evenly fitted. I can call it a victory. Seal installed, guys. That's how you do it. After that, put the pump seal back on, put the torque converter back on, and that's all it takes. Next video will be to actually do the filter. This next step is to actually take the same transmission, lift it on my actual crane engine hoist, attach it to an engine stand, so I can work on it at my level while it's flipped. So check out my next video. 2006 Boxster project. That was the torque converter pump seal replacement. Take care.